the fact that you're an immigrant speaks volumes. It means you chose to come here. But America didn't start that way for black people. They didn't immigrate here. They were living somewhere else, and they were kidnapped and raped and murdered and taken here. And so for you to just say this is a magnificent place that doesn't have racism is actually, I think, more of a foundational lie than anything else. Yeah. Would your argument be that you don't believe that that's purposeful or that it doesn't exist?
I don't believe it exists.
Okay.
I don't know what these systems are.
Okay, so
give me one system.
All right, redlining neighborhoods.
Capitalism?
No, redlining neighborhoods.
That was a state-enforced thing from Jim Crow, which is the one point at which I think absolutely is true.
So you just said it doesn't exist except for that.
No.
Yeah.
No, I said white supremacy doesn't exist.
But, so when the New Deal was passed, right? When the New Deal was passed, black people were explicitly not allowed to have those loans. When the Homestead Act allowed white people to get an enormous wealth of land and be able to farm it, black people did not have access to that. When slaves were freed, when Social Security came, black people, when the GI Bill, black people were not. So when you say to me, I don't get how this exists, I'm just having trouble figuring out, like, I mean, you're a bright guy. Like, what the are you talking about?
The false analogy is this, equating 250 years of slavery and then 100 years of Jim Crow with the immigrant experiences of white Europeans from 1870 to 1924. I grew up in an Italian-Jewish neighborhood in Philadelphia, working class, but you know how these folks made it? They got jobs in the government, civil jobs, cops, union jobs. These were all off limits. If you were brown or black, forget it. Here's the real deal about everything, is that whites came to believe that everything good, the jobs, the land, the suburbs, it was theirs. And when blacks try to encroach, that's when you have the pushback. That's when you have riots about busing. That's when you have terrorism. So I don't know, I get Andrew, I know Andrew's history, but I don't even remotely understand what he's saying about American history, because it is not in any way, people that have studied it, this is nothing like what he's talking about.
No one is denying this awful history, nor is anyone denying.
Great. So let's talk productively about what we do about it. I think the conversation is then this. We have an awful history. Its remnants are still felt today.
We also have a great history, John.
Say it again?
We also have a great history.
But I think you're minimizing it. You're suggesting that because
I think by calling today white supremacy, you are minimizing actual white supremacy. You have an incredible diversity. To condemn all American history as racist.
I disagree that they're generalizing all white people. The systems that were racist that were put in place.
Systems.
Yes, the systems that were put in place.
I'd like you to explain exactly what they are.
Well, I thought I explained it earlier about the GI Bill and about the New Deal.
That's one thing. I want to know about these systems.
I just explained it. Housing.
That's food. One, and I've agreed that.
Andrew, you're not living on the same fucking planet we are.
Just a simple smell, she got me aroused. Anything I think of doing, she like, baby, I'm down. She make me wanna walk that out, say those vows. She the only woman I find fit.